Hi guys, it's Miss Hope. How are you? I know this has been a very challenging couple of weeks being home and having to do school differently, but I'm here to give you guys some art lessons, and I hope that you're excited about it because we haven't had art in a while, and I am looking forward to continuing to teach you through the computer. And I know it's going to be a little bit different. It's not the same as when we're in the classroom and I can walk around and help you and talk to you. But the good thing about teaching on the computer is that these lessons are going to be pre-recorded. That means that I'm recording them right now and I'm live in my kitchen studio, and you guys are going to be able to look at them anytime you want to with your mom and dad or with your parents, whoever's home with you, and you can pause and you can stop the lesson so you can follow along with me at your own pace. You can come back to it later. You have a whole week to look at all the stuff that we're going to do and finish your project. You don't have to worry about getting your project finished in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or however long it's going to be. You can take your time and you can do it a couple different times, and you can do it with brothers and sisters and cousins and whoever's around in your house right now that you're doing homeschool with. Okay, so that's a good thing. Technology is definitely a good thing in that way. It's going to help us and it's going to keep us connected. And even though I can't see you, you can still see me and you can hear me. And so that's what we're gonna try doing that now and see how it works for you all. Okay, so no pressure. Okay, no pressure to finish by the time I'm done. Like I said, again, you just take your time and go at your own pace. And you know, the fun part is that now you can do this at home with your parents or your older brothers or sisters or cousins, whoever you live with. They can be involved in this with you. They can help you. You can do it together. You can even teach them sometimes, okay? Because you've learned a lot so far in school this year, okay? So we're going to try to do the story idea like we were doing in class, where I read a book to you, and then we're going to pull some ideas out of the book, and we're going to work on improving your art skills. Okay, today we're just going to be drawing. So all you're going to need is a piece of paper, a couple pieces of paper, a pencil, and some crayons. Depending on what you're going to want to make, you're going to choose your colors. I just picked orange, red, yellow, and brown, and you'll see why in a little while. I'm just going to use those colors today, but you can have a whole box of crayons, you can have markers, you can have oil pastels, you can even have watercolor if you want to. But if you want to just keep it really simple, crayons and pencil and paper. That's all you need for today, okay? All right, so in a minute we're going to get started. What's going to happen is you're not going to see my face for a little bit. You're only going to see my overhead camera zooming down onto the book so you can see the pictures. And then you'll hear my voice, but you won't see my face until the end, okay? So I'll see you guys back here in just a few minutes, all right? Enjoy the story. And here we go. All right, this book is called One of Each. And it is by Mary Ann Hoberman. And it's illustrated by Marjorie Priceman. Do you guys remember what illustrated means? It means drawn. So an illustrator is the person who draws the pictures or creates the pictures, okay? And the author is the person who writes the book. All right, here we go. One of each. Oliver Tolliver lived all alone in a little tumble-down house of his own. It had one little window and one little door, and one little carpet that covered the floor. It had one little table and one little chair, and one little closet and one little stair, and one little bedroom and one little bed, with one little pillow for under his head, and one little blanket and one little sheet, and one little bottle to warm up his feet. In the one little kitchen was one little sink, and one little cupboard all shiny and pink. And inside the cupboard one pear and one peach, one plum and one apple, just one of each. One plum and one apple, one pear and one peach, just one, only one, simply one of each. There was one little clock that went tick-tock, tock-tick, over one little fireplace built out of brick. There was one little bookcase with one little book, and one little mirror where someone could look. And when Oliver Tolliver looked all around, he smiled with delight, for he liked what he found. It all seemed so fine, every one of each thing, that he felt just as happy and proud as a king. I don't know if you guys can see, but he's got his paintbrush right here in his hand. And he said to himself, why, how nice it would be if someone could see this, someone besides me. Why, such a collection would certainly teach how lovely it is to have one of each. One house with one kitchen, one plum and one peach. Just one, only one, simply one of each. So Oliver Tolliver, carefully dressed in his one little shirt and his one little vest, and his one little trouser and one little coat, and his one little tie round his one little throat, put his one little hat on his one little head, and then Oliver Tolliver cheerfully said, I shall walk out my door and go straight down the street, and the very first person I happen to meet is the one I will ask to come look and come see. I wonder which person that person will be. He started out walking, and soon someone came, a nice-looking person. He asked her name. She said it was Peggotty, Peggotty Small, and said she was pleased to come over to call. He showed her his stove and his one little sink, and his one little cupboard all shiny and pink, his chair and his table, his bureau and bed, and his one little pillow for under his head. And each time he showed her a one of each treasure, he looked for a sign of enjoyment or pleasure. But all that she did was repeat the same speech. Just one, only one, simply one of each? Why only one apple? Why only one peach? Why one, simply one, only one of each? Well, Oliver Tolliver tried to explain. He said that the reason was perfectly plain. If everything fit from the roof to the floor, and each thing was perfect, why bother with more? But Peggotty answered, I cannot agree. It may be for you, but it isn't for me. There's one chair to sit in, and one plate to eat on, and only one footstool to prop up your feet on. One cup and one saucer, one pear and one peach. Oh dearie, how dreary, with just one of each. A guest in your one of each house does not fit. It's made for one person, and you, sir, are it. It's perfect for one, sir, if he's on his own. And so, sir, I'll go, sir, and leave you alone. Then Oliver Tolliver looked all about. He looked up and down, and he looked in and out. And he saw that what Peggotty said was quite true. His one of each house was not suited for two. His one of each things never came to an end. Yet one thing was missing. He hadn't one friend. Oliver Tolliver raced out the door, and he hurried downtown and ran into each store. And in each store he entered, he made the same speech. I'd like this one and that one, just one of each. He bought this one and that one, and when he was through, he hurried back home, and now each one was two. And when he'd arranged all his new things to fit, he liked what they looked like, he had to admit. The house was less empty, the kitchen felt new. The table seemed friendlier, set up for two. Then when he was finished, he called up Miss P and invited her over for afternoon tea. And when she arrived, she cavorted with glee, and she said with delight, Why, you did this for me? Why, Oliver dear, you are truly a peach, with two, really two, always two of each. They sat at the table in perfect accord, and they each took a teacup, and Peggotty poured. And they each had a cupcake, and when they were done, Oliver knew two was better than one, jolly and friendly, more cheerful, more fun. Then little by little new friends came to call, and Oliver found he was fond of them all. What a pity, he thought, there was not any more. More cupcakes to offer, more tea he could pour. Then he had an idea as he opened the door, an idea that he never had thought of before. He sharpened his knife and he polished his plate, and he asked his new friends if they kindly would wait. Then he went to the cupboard, and in he did reach, and took out his fruit. There were now 2 of each. And he carefully cut them, each plum, peach, and pear, and he passed round the plate, so they all had a share. And he found, as he nibbled the peach, pear, and plum, that they all tasted better when each one had some, and that even though each person's piece might be small, eating with friends was the best thing of all. And by sharing his pieces of plum, pear, and peach, each one could have one, still have one of each. Did you guys like that story? Hold on, I'm going to switch over so you can see me again. Hi. So I think that's a fun story, and especially right now because we can't all be together and share our things, but this is good to remember for when we do get back together and get back to school and we get to eat lunch again together and have art again together and do our classes again together. It's really important to share what we have, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start our project now. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draw fruit. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. I'm going to have you guys, again, I'm going to switch the camera so that you're seeing what I'm drawing and you can follow along with me step by step, okay? But there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can just look at what I'm going to draw, or you can see if mom or dad or who's ever home with you can go to the refrigerator or the kitchen and see if there's any fruit in your kitchen. And you can actually put it on the table in front of you and you can draw what you see. That's called still life. And a lot of artists do that to practice their drawing skills because a still life is something that doesn't move. So it just sits on the table wherever you put it in front of you, and it's not going to move, it's not going to roll around, it's not going to get tired. It's just going to stay in that one position, and as long as you want it to, where you can draw from it, okay? So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my fruit for you, and in a second you're going to see what I've got, and then we're going to draw. We're going to do step by step, and then I'm going to show you some coloring ways to color, and then you guys are just going to go ahead and do it on your own, or you can go back and replay the part of this video where we start drawing, and you can follow along with me however you want to do it, okay? All right, so here we go. You're not going to see my face, but you're going to hear my voice. Here we go. Overhead camera. All right, so here's my paper. I know it's a little hard to see because I started writing with pencil, so I wrote the word apple, A-P-P-L-E, orange, O-R-A-N-G-E, banana, B-A-N-A-N-A, and grapes, G-R-A-P-E-S, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you my fruit. Here's my apple, here's my banana, here's my orange, and I'm going to go get my grapes. Hang on one second. They were in the refrigerator so that they would stay cold. Here are grapes. All right. Okay. So we're going to look at these things and we're going to talk about the shapes because that's what we've been learning in class, right? We've been learning about shapes, right? So these are kind of simple shapes, right? What is the shape? What would you call this? Circle, right? And it's round. Okay, that's an apple. And again, what do we have here? It's also a circle. This is an orange, a little mini mandarin orange. Okay. And then this is a banana. So what do you think this shape would be? It's not a straight line. So it's kind of hard, right? What's a banana shape? Well, we just kind of say it's a banana shape, but it's curved, right? So it's got curves like that. Comes to a point at both ends. We'd call this an arc, okay? Kind of like a shape, like a, if I flip it over this way, you can see it a different way. Kind of like a smile. So that's like the way a smile kind of bends up. It kind of starts at one end, dips down, and then comes back up again. So mine, I have a smiley banana. And then my grapes. What are these? Lots of what? Little tiny circles. But what about the branches? These are like curvy lines. right? Remember we talked about lines in the beginning of school? Lines make up all the shapes of everything that you see, right? Okay, so none of these have to look exactly perfect, so don't worry. I know you guys probably have not really drawn fruit before, so that's why we're going to practice it, and we're going to go step by step. Very, very easy, okay? Very simple to do. So let's start with the apple, okay? My apple is circle. I know you're looking at it from the top. I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see it on the side, right? And if I turn it around, I notice different things about it. It's kind of bigger here in the middle. And then it comes down to, not a point, but it's more narrow. That's what we call it. So it's wide here in the middle. And then it's narrow here at the bottom. Okay? So I want you to, before you start drawing whatever it is that you've got in front of you, if you're looking at my fruit, I want you to just kind of pay attention, and as I'm turning it around in my hand, I want you to just kind of look at it and kind of observe it. But if you're drawing something that's at home, it's okay if you have different fruit. It doesn't really matter what you have, okay? It'll work out fine. I want you to just kind of hold it and move it around and look at it and touch it. Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Because that's going to help you figure out how to draw. Okay, that's called texture, and texture can also help you understand how to draw pictures. Okay, so my apple is nice and smooth. All right, so we're going to start drawing the apple. I'm going to draw it on its side, so I'm going to go ahead and lay it down right here so I can look at it and move my paper a little bit, and I'm going to just, the best I can, I'm just going to look at my apple, and I'm going to start making my shape here. Now remember, we talked about it being wide right here, right? And coming around to a little bit of a narrower point, and it's going to come back up again. Almost like a little bit like a heart, right? Kind of looks like a little bit like a heart. Okay? I know it might be a little bit hard to see. I'm drawing really hard with my pencil so you guys can see the line, okay? Now I know it doesn't look exactly like that apple, but that's okay. Again, we're practicing right now, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It actually never has to be perfect. And then I'm going to draw, here we have a stem here at the top. This is called the stem, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just draw the stem, which is also just lines. And I know it's not on here, but I'm going to go ahead and add a leaf. Okay, sometimes apples have leaves or leaves. I'm adding here to it, and you can add that if you'd like to, or you can just leave it alone. So now, here's another cool thing about drawing is you can create your apple to look shiny by just adding a couple of little lines right here. Bring it down so you're following, this line follows the curve of this line, and then this line follows the curve of that line. And stops right there, and then like that. I know it may look kind of silly, but when we color it later, you'll understand. Okay? That's going to kind of give it the illusion of it being shiny. When you guys get a little bit older, you'll learn about shading. But right now, we're just going to keep it simple. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw my orange. So I know you're looking at it from the top and I'm looking at it from the side here. So I'm going to draw what you guys see at the top here. But when you're looking at your picture or you're looking at your fruit, you can draw it from however you want, whatever angle you want to. So I'm going to draw what you guys see. And so again, I'm just kind of, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Just going to practice here. And so here's this little piece right here. That's where its stem was. That's where it was growing on the vine. So I'm just going to add just the idea. And I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to put this real close. You see these right here? Look at these lines coming out. They're not really lines. They're like dents in the top of the orange. We probably don't even realize that they're there because we just usually peel them and eat them. But take a look at your fruit. See if yours has any lines or dents. Okay, I'm going to include those little lines and dents, sort of. And the good thing is, if you don't have any oranges and you have tomatoes, you could do that the same exact way. That kind of looks like a tomato, actually. All right, so there's my orange. Now, remember we talked about texture before? Texture is the way something feels, okay? Or what's on the surface. So my orange is pretty smooth, but if you look real close, again, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this on my camera. Let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, there's little dots in the peel, in the skin of my orange, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use my pencil and I'm gonna dot, 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 dot. You don't have to do this with your pencil. You can wait until you start coloring it and do it with your colors. Okay, I'm just gonna do it right now with my pencil while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so you see how my orange now has dots. So now it doesn't look like a tomato anymore because a tomato doesn't have those dots. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna move these out of the way and bring my banana closer. All right, so banana, remember we said it looks like a smiley, it's like an arc. There's a stem here at the top. Bananas are super good for you, but what happens is if you don't eat them fast enough, they start looking like this, right? They get brown. Guess what you can make when bananas start to get brown? Anybody know? Did somebody say banana bread? Yep, banana bread is so good, especially when you mix fun things in like chocolate chips or peanut butter or blueberries. And that's a fun project to do at home. That's also very creative to cook in the kitchen if you can, or help out. All right, so banana. We're just doing, look, all I did, guys, very simple. Just some curved lines. Can you see? And a little stem at the top. Okay? Let me make that a little darker for you. Okay, and then I added a line. And now again, I can do this right now with my pencil. I'm going to add some brown spots to it. And I got some squiggly lines right here to look like this brown patch right here. And then this kind of dark up there, kind of dark down here. Just going to add some extra lines even though they're not there. I'm just adding those in. So when I color later, I'm going to remember that that's what I want to enhance and make dark. All right, and now grapes. Grapes are fun, but they take a little bit of work. So I'm just rearranging my grapes. Now, if you don't have grapes and you have cherry tomatoes or you have blueberries, that's fine. Use whatever you've got. All right, so grapes are fun. I'm not going to do them exactly the way that I see them. I'm just going to kind of make little circles. That's what grapes are, just little circles. You can make a big bunch of grapes, or you can make a little small, tiny bunch of grapes. I like to make them like this. And then kind of almost like in a triangle. I'm going to draw the triangle for you so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and inside the triangle, I'm filling in little circles. Some of them are overlapping. That's okay. You guys just take your time, practice, right? Art is about practice. Getting good at art is like anything else. Learning how to read, learning how to ride a bike. You have to keep practicing over and over and over, trying it different ways, seeing what works for you. Okay? And now if I want to, I can go ahead and erase some of those triangle lines so you don't see them. So it doesn't look like a grape pizza. Right? What shape is pizza, guys? Triangle. I bet if you guys start looking at all your food and thinking about what shapes they look like, you're gonna start to see shapes everywhere. Okay, now I'm gonna round that out a little bit. And now I'm gonna just add a couple more grapes here at the top just to smooth it out. And then I'm gonna give that a stem too. So you can make your grapes look like that if you want to. Okay? Alright. Now that you've got your fruit shapes all drawn out, now comes the coloring part. I'm just going to go ahead and I forgot to grab purple, so I'm going to go ahead and grab purple for my grapes. Now I have what they're called red grapes, and they look kind of purple to me, so I'm going to use purple. But you use whatever color you want, or you know what, you can make up your own color. Your grapes can be whatever color you want. So I'm going to work on the apple first. Now you guys, again, you're all really creative and imaginative, so you guys color these however you want to. All right, so I'm gonna bring my apple back here so I can look at it. Do you notice something about my apple? Is it completely red? Nope. What color, what else do you see here? What other colors do you see? What do you think this looks like? Kind of yellow. Yellowish, greenish maybe. So I'm gonna do some of my apple red and some of my apple yellow. So I'm just gonna start coloring. Just keeping in mind that you can do this however you like. Don't color that part in though, okay? This part right here that we drew before that was white, leave that white for right now, okay? You'll see why when we're done coloring. I learned this when I was probably your age, how to make something look like it had a shine to it. And you can do this with balloons. When you're drawing balloons, you can do the same thing. Give it like a shine, okay? Now I'm gonna leave this part here in the middle white right now because I'm gonna go ahead and get yellow. And I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna color that in yellow. I know that might look really silly, but you'll see in a couple of seconds when I'm done. I'm gonna go ahead and add red back into that to make it look like my real apple. And I'm just gonna, now I'm gonna just lightly color over the yellow with my red. I wanted it to have that undercolor of yellow. Okay, that's how you create a layer of colors. You put a lighter color underneath and then you use a darker color on top, or you put a darker color underneath, and then it's kind of hard when you're doing a lighter color on top because it won't show through, but so that's why the lighter color underneath with a darker color lightly on top. See, now it's starting to look more like this apple right here. And now I need to darken up just a little. I'm going to be happy with the way this turns out. Okay? I like that. I'm happy with it. It's a happy apple. It looks good enough to eat. And I'm going to add some green for my leaf and my stem. And that's that. My apple is done. And I'm going to leave that part white right there so that it looks like it's shiny. Okay? It's okay if it doesn't look exactly real right now. We're just having fun. I'm going to move this apple out of the way. Now I'm going to go grab my orange. I'm just going to color that in. Now, if you did the dots for the texture of the orange skin before, you can just color right over them, like what I'm doing. I haven't colored with crayons like this in a really long time, you guys. It's fun. If you have colored pencils, you can also use colored pencils if you like using those, but crayons are really good to use. Okay, and now I'm gonna take like a dark orange. I'm just gonna kind of go over. If you didn't do the dots with pencil, that's fine. Now is your time where you can pick a darker color, darker orange maybe, and you can do, well, that doesn't turn out so well, but putting them on like this works. Okay. And I'm also going to use this dark orange to make my lines show up a little bit more over here. I'm giving them emphasis. It's a big word. Can you say emphasis? Emphasis means I want those to stand out. I want those to show up more. So I'm making them darker. And then I'm going to use my green for my little orange stem again. Okay? And then banana, same thing. What color is a banana? Sometimes they're green, but most of the time they're yellow. So I'm going to go color right over my pencil with yellow. And if you guys go outside of the lines, that's okay. So now I did my yellow, but now I'm going to take brown. Remember those parts that I made with the pencil before, the brown spots on my banana? Well, now I'm going to just color them with some brown, and I'm also going to add some to the stem. Okay? Banana. And now for the last fruit, my grapes. Now, if you watch what I'm doing, I'm coloring in my grapes in a circle motion, but I'm leaving a little bit of white. And that also gives you the idea that they're shiny. You leave a little bit of white. It kind of makes them look like they're a little bit shiny, doesn't it? And you can mix it up. You can make green grapes, you can make red grapes, you can make purple grapes, you can make, those are the only colors that I know, but of grapes. But if you want your grapes to be blue, or blue and purple, why not? Do you guys like grapes? Grapes are good. And you know what happens to grapes when they sit out in the sun for a really long time? Well, I don't know if they sit out in the sun or if there's a special way to make them this way. But what do grapes turn into? What else is another way that you can eat grapes? They're not called grapes. They're called raisins. I bet you some of you knew that already. Raisins. You make raisins out of grapes. Okay. Almost done here. That guy needs a little bit more purple. Getting hungry, you guys. It's going to be time for a snack after this. All right, and now for the last part of my grapes is the stem. I make it green, but you can make it brown. Or brown and green, however you want to. And that's it. You guys just made fruit, okay? And so now what you can do for the rest of the week is just keep practicing. Find different fruit or arrange it differently, make different things, or find some other kinds of food in your kitchen that you could draw here. I'm gonna click back over so you can see my face. Hi. So yeah, have some fun with this. See if you can help out in the kitchen and see if you can ask for permission. Of course, don't take anything without asking. And put it on your kitchen table or wherever you draw and stare at it. Hold it in your hand, move it around, touch it. What does it feel like? What is it, how big is it? Does it fit in your hand? Is it too big, like a pineapple? Do you think you can fit a pineapple in just one hand? Probably not. A pineapple's pretty big. It's got all those leaves and the whole bottom part where the fruit is. I can't hold it with one hand. I need two hands to hold a pineapple, but tomato you can hold in one hand. Or maybe you guys have some strawberries at home. Strawberries are really fun because strawberries, if you look real close, they have tiny little seeds. So the shape is like a heart and they're red, right? But they've got tiny little seeds inside their skin. So on the outside, you would use your pencil to make dots to make the strawberry, and they have the nice, big, beautiful green leaves on top. And sometimes they even have a stem still attached. So this is where you're going to use your skill of observing. Observing is like looking with your eyes, using your senses, your feeling, your touch, to gather information about what you're creating. Okay, so have fun with it. Draw me some pictures. I can't wait to see what you guys make, and have your moms and dads help you post your pictures to either to the Facebook site in the comments or email me, okay, to my Atala email address, which is hsperling@atalamontessori.org. It's included in the email, and I'm going to send out another link. And I just want to take this last quick moment. I want to thank all you parents for contributing to the fundraiser. Your kids did such a great job creating their fundraiser pictures. I'm super proud of them. I have been in touch with the coordinator over at Art to Remember, and everybody who ordered something went into production this past week. So I believe it went into production on the 7th, which was just 2 days ago. So it should be shipping out to you in just a couple weeks, and I'm really excited to see what you guys made and what you turned it into, what kind of gifts you turned it into. So thank you so much for supporting us at the school, through the art department, through this fundraiser. I'm sorry that it came at a time where it was, school was ending and it's just a challenging time. Just everybody stay safe and stay healthy and stay well. And art is a great tool to use for, a lot of things: stress management, coping skills, just having fun, winding down a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoy this and work together. Boys and girls, work with your brothers and sisters and your moms and dads and just keep practicing, okay? And I'll see you soon. All right? Bye, guys. Have a great night.